How do you use Zoho CRM? Oh boy, this is a big one. If you do not know how to use it, I definitely recommend checking out some of the Zoho tutorials. We have some of our own tutorials on YouTube, but there are some great resources that are out there and other partner companies that create some different content around Zoho applications. So I recommend checking that out first. After that, I think it's just getting in there and getting to know it. So using Zoho is a little bit of a learning curve. I mean, there's a lot of bit of a learning curve just because it's such a massive tool. But once you start to get in there, you get used to it. You start to understand generally how the tool works. If you're technically savvy, it's not going to be too difficult for you. If you're used to CRMs, it's not going to be too difficult for you. If this is your first time ever utilizing a CRM and you haven't seen any modules or anything like this or custom fields, creating that kind of stuff, it's going to be a little bit more difficult and it's going to take more time. One of the things we do is we do a lot of training with our clients through Loom videos and through in-person trainings. So if that's something that interests you, let us know and we can help. So when it comes to essential features of a CRM, we believe that these three are the most important you should look at. Number one, the ability to track your sales and customer information as it comes in. So the ability to create custom fields to make sure that you are tracking all the information you need to track. And number two, you should be able to automate a lot of these procedures with your clients. So you should be able to follow up on a timely manner or set automation follow-up. You should be able to ensure that you are sending invoices out properly, you're creating tasks, you're reducing that manual data entry so your team doesn't have to do that. And third, we believe that you should also look for integration ability. So the ability for your application or your CRM to integrate with other applications that are out there. So for example, if you're using QuickBooks and you can't integrate that into your CRM that you're using, that's a big red flag for me. So make sure that you have the ability to expand and scale and grow because you don't know what tools you're going to be using in the future. So you want to have that ability and not be stuck with the CRM in the future. Now, we also have a video out there on our YouTube channel that talks about the 5 most important CRM terms that you should know. Go check that out. We're going to link that one as well, and hopefully it is useful for you. If your team is struggling to utilize the CRM, first of all, it's likely that they don't have the proper training and they're just confused and frustrated and they're going back to the old ways that they were doing things or that the business was doing things. So that's first and foremost. Second of all, if they're having difficulties utilizing the CRM, it's likely because there isn't a process put in place. If you do not have a standardized process for your sales team, for your marketing team, for whomever's using the CRM, whether it's service or whoever, they are not going to use it well. They are going to input information incorrectly. They are going to get frustrated. They are going to get unhappy and they are not going to like it. And so there's going to be some pushback when it's actually should be used. So in order to get your team to utilize it, you want to create a standardized process. You want to make sure they have the training and the knowledge to use it the way it should be. And if you have both of these things, you're going to find that they're going to absolutely love their life because they're no longer having to do those mundane tasks that they used to have to do, and it's going to make their life so much simpler. If your sales teams are not very experienced with technology or they're not really used to CRMs, you definitely need to make sure they understand. So whether that's creating a guide yourself, you will yourself need to understand what the actual process is, how to use the tool, because they are going to be coming to you. Now, if this is something you don't have the time for or you don't want to do, hiring this out to a consultant to help build out this process is going to be a lot more effective. Creating training materials is going to be a lot more effective for someone else to do if you don't want to get your hands too wet in this entire process. And throughout all of this, if you need help designing a process for your sales team or making it more efficient, I highly recommend you reach out to a CRM consultant of the tool that you're using. Or if you don't have a tool, you actually look at a CRM and start implementing it, making it easier for your team. There are millions of things you can do to make it easier for your team. If they are not understanding, it's likely because it's too complicated and there isn't a process surrounding it. So that would be the first thing you need to do, and then technology after. All right, if you are experiencing some poor communication within the team, it's possible because you don't have the right solution in place. So by that, I mean, maybe you don't have an internal communications tool. There's a lot that are out there depending on the different tools that you're using. If you're using Google, you can use Google Chats or Google Hangouts or whatever it is. If you're using Microsoft, you have Microsoft Teams. If you're using Zoho, you have Zoho Click. If you're using Slack, that's another one. Internal communication is really important to have access to each of those individuals at a moment's notice. And you can have all this stuff on your phone. Now, you may be sending messages via cell phone, maybe just sending SMS messages or text messages out, which is never going to be the best way. Maybe you're still sending email out. And maybe you're just having poor communication when it comes to project management and your different tools that you're having. If you don't have a standard way to have the team communicate with one another, you're always going to have problems. So you want to be sure that you find a solution that works within your business. So look at all the tools that are out there and see if there's a new one that could benefit you.